Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the It Factor, blessing the airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and soul. With energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
Biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Dream in the House, and today is our Super Bowl extravaganza. You got me, you got Dr. Dan, you got the Mad Hatter in the house, and we have three special guests coming up for you today. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
What's up, Dream? How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing good, boys. I'm doing good. I didn't think I'd be able to join you. I'm happy I'm able to be here to, wait, what are we breaking down? Spring training baseball or something? Is that what's going on today?
Dream, let's do some spring training baseball today, brother.
Well, first of all, I need to do spring training baseball, as every play I talked about yesterday was a crime scene.
Oh, well, you had my boy in Cleveland. At least that worked.
No, that was the only thing that I talked about that was positive, and believe me, everything else was just a drubbing. I mean, listen. I think I owe to book money on my losses. They were so bad yesterday.
Dream is not allowed back in Costa Rica for like
Dream, you know what? Because of the Dream, everybody's reloading today for the Super Bowl.
That's why I put my Super Bowl bet in the day of the championship games.
Right on, guys. Good morning to you. We are the SBTV Nation, and we are live on all the social media outlets, including Twitter, and looking forward to getting a bunch of guests on here to have a conversation about the big game. Just real quick, just to break it all down. Yeah, Dream, a lot of the top 10 went down in college basketball yesterday.
Dude, it was just, it wasn't even just the top 10, though, but it was situations, Syracuse stinks.
Yep.
All right. Syracuse just straight up is booty. All right. And what happened yesterday with Virginia on the defensive side, I don't know what happened, but I knew Virginia struggled offensively, and I said that in the show. I also said that Virginia had the capacity of defensively holding them down, and Syracuse didn't score a lot, so I thought the under would work, but just an awful performance by Virginia as far as the offense is concerned.
Yeah, you almost wondered, in college basketball, it's not really acceptable, but they were at Villanova, at Notre Dame, at Villanova. They had that VTech game where they blew them out, and then, they're going home to play Louisville tomorrow. So it's almost like college kids, man, just can never trust them. It's like they just straight looked ahead on that game.
Well, a lot of the road teams, I noticed that, this is just, this is college basketball, this is college football. When they go on the road, I mean, they still have academics, they still got girls, they still got all this stuff going on. And it kind of makes
academics, come on. You think these guys got academics, man?
I do, because they got to keep their grades up to play the sports.
I think they have their study partner sitting next to them going, hey, yeah, by the way, the answer here is B. This one's C. When they tell you this, write this.
Yeah.
Big-time college athletics, I mean, let's be real. It's not about academics, especially hoop. And I hear what you're saying, but if UVA, and I'm with you, Dream. I mean, if UVA has aspirations of making any noise in the tournament, you don't go on the road to I'll give them a medium team. I mean, they're not terrible, but there's no way UVA should have lost the Cuse.
I'm looking at the rest of this here.
No way.
I'm looking at this. I mean, the only team that didn't lose was Gonzaga at 24-0. Dream, that is the true number one team.
If everybody could have gotten the matchup with St. Mary's, I think everybody else would have turned out well as well.
Hey man, everything was crazy last night. I went with Quinnipiac at 4 points. They were up like 30 after the first half and won by 8, so we cover. But like everything in college is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. Baylor goes down at the number 2 spot. Kansas goes down at the number 3 spot to Iowa State in Kansas. Villanova in Kansas. Villanova is the only one that Villanova and Gonzaga. Arizona got destroyed, Dream. So I don't know where you're going with them.
Destroyed. I mean, it was like I said, I think if I go on my account, I'm probably owe them, like, hey, call us because you need to send us some more money.
Yep. Right on, exactly.
This is like the second time in 3 weeks, though, that multiple seeds in the top 5 have gone down. I mean, that's kind of nuts.
It is. Even West Virginia went down yesterday, guys.
What happened with does anybody know, Dan, do you know what happened with Yale Cornell? It got suspended?
I have no idea. They weren't broadcasting that game. I didn't know it even got suspended, to be honest.
Okay.
All right, guys. So you know what? Without further ado, I got our first guest calling in right now, and I believe this is my man, Charlie. Charlie, what's up?
Gentlemen, what's going on this Super Bowl Sunday?
Yes, sir. How you doing out there in Texas?
Man, I'm doing great. Calling you guys from Houston, Texas, and man, what a great week it's been down here. It's just been without any hiccups. It's been an incredible week for the Super Bowl.
Oh, so you're down in Houston. Have you had the pleasure of going around the stadium and seeing everything that's going on down there?
This is the first year that the Super Bowl's been in town that I have not been down and around there. I know a lot of people, though, that have. In the equipment business, there's a lot of equipment that goes on in and around the NFL experience of the Super Bowl. So I got a lot of people talking to me about what they're dealing with, and several close friends that are part of the rodeo committee, which is a big rodeo down here every year, and those folks help out with any big events like this in town, and they've been calling with the stories. So it's been pretty crazy week, but a good week.
Good stuff. So we got the Dream and Dr. Dan, the Evil Genius, on with you today.
What's going on,
sir?
brother?
How's it going, boys?
Mr. Charlie, what's happening? Very good to hear from you finally. Hit him up yesterday a little bit, talked a little bit. Listen, we're not going to even dance around the topic today. What is going on with the Super Bowl, brother? Talk to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. This is going to be a close game, and I'll just tell you guys the way we operate. We base our picks on a bankroll process where it's 1%, 2%, or 3% of the bankroll that you've set for the year. And this game is I'll be straight up. It's a 1% pick, which basically says that it met the criteria to go as a bet, but it's only at 1%. Just being straight up, the numbers on this game are pretty darn close. This whole thing is going to be a tight situation. So we're going to got our picks already out there. It's at 1%, which, like I said, is it wouldn't have made a pick on wrong Sunday. We'd have better opportunities making money. But hey, it's Super Bowl. It's going to be tight. Just an interesting fact. We base our stuff on 37 stats that we track very closely, and that's how we come to our decision. But the MVP has lost the last 7 Super Bowls he's played, and I apologize for repeating things you guys have already gone over. Underdog has covered 11 of the last 15, 8 of those were outright wins. So that would make you think, well, interesting. AFC's won 10 of the last 17 outright, but they're only 7-9-1 against the spread. Here's the key stat for me: 64% of the teams that wear the white jerseys win. So that's
nice.
I mean, listen to this. I mean, they got this thing broken down into which way you can break it down. But I have a question for you guys. Maybe y'all can shed some light on this for me.
Hey, Charlie, do you have capabilities to talk a little louder on the phone or anything? Because we're having a real hard time hearing you.
Well, let me see. How about now? Can you hear me?
Way better. 100% better.
Okay.
All right. So you had a question for us.
Apologize about that.
No problem.
Because Charlie, you're sounding like you're in the bathtub after a Super Bowl party last night with about under the ice passed out.
Y'all got the video on me. Well, let me ask y'all a question. All right. So I was looking at a prop bet, and maybe y'all can explain this one to me. So do they determine who's going to pick who does the coin toss Is that determined before the game? Which team picks that?
No.
No.
I don't know. I don't. You know what? That's a really good dream. Enlighten me.
It's the home team, which is Atlanta.
Okay. All right.
Right?
So the Atlanta Falcons are the
No,
home
I thought
team,
the visiting team.
the visiting team.
I'll
Well, there
look it
seems
up.
to be. We're not sure which way it goes, but listen to this prop bet. And is there a reason why heads would come up more than tails?
No, but I've been now. I don't know how factual this is. Okay, and Hat will attest to this. I bet tails every year, and I was told a while ago that the coin the tail side is heavier than the head side because there's more. I don't know. There's more detail in the tail side. I was told that. I don't know how true that is. It was from a guy that was a awful gambler that drank a lot, so it could have just been one of those stories.
Well, I mean,
Well-
it's not crazy because they do cast a different mold for every Super Bowl coin. So I don't know, I don't know if this is like an actual minted coin that's weighed out to be exactly equal on both sides. That's where I think the differences come in. I don't think there's much to it, but it's not like you're flipping a quarter here.
Well, this is serious stuff, right? I mean, this is what the game's all about. And, the heads is minus 800, and the tails is plus 465. So it's wow.
Charlie, but
Go
listen to
figure.
me. As far as I'm concerned, no, this is the safest bet and the best bet of the day because you got a 50-50 shot and it's done in less than 2 seconds.
Right on.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
I mean, that's
I
not
look
a
at-
prop bet I normally take. I'm more of a Gatorade color guy, things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I took
I want to
heads
get it out of
I
the
took
way
tails
right off the
last
bat.
and I hit tails, which was kind of a good indication I was going to win last year. But I took tails, as Hat knows. We sat at the bar together. I did take tails last year, and it hit.
Yep. Well, I put a little on tails. I'm hoping for a tails call.
All right. There you go.
Well, guys, the spread's at -3 and a 59. It hadn't moved all week. What do y'all make of that? I'm not sure what to make of it at this point, other than I'm not moving my decision.
All right.
I mean, the immediate action, obviously, 70% of the immediate action early on was on the Pats. The total action bumped down to 59%, but I know that over the last few days, Vegas has taken heavy action, like individual action on the Falcons, a couple $1 million bets and things like that. So I think that's why that's balanced out the spread. I mean, I don't know if we're holding our picks. Look, me personally, I don't think this is going to be a very close game.
All right.
I think the Patriots are actually going to roll pretty handily.
Wow.
We're talking about the Atlanta Falcons that have
close game. That's a shocker.
Here we go. Atlanta Falcons have the 27th ranked pass defense in the NFL.
Yep.
We can't forget that. I understand, we watched them torch Green Bay, which was that was just a cataclysmic failure on Green Bay's part. That will not happen to the Patriots. And look, you're telling me you have probably the greatest coach and greatest quarterback of all time, and it pains me to say it. I'm no Patriots apologist. I just think also, if you look at years past, when you have these rhythm and tempo offenses, I don't think the week off is good for them. I think the Patriots move fast. I think the Patriots get out to a pretty quick lead.
All right, Charlie, to answer your question, I believe that this line hasn't moved because the half point is so substantial with the number 3 that if you get it down to 2.5, you're going to get a ton of Patriots action. And then if you go up to 3.5, you're going to get a ton of Atlanta because of the field goal number.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's just, realistically, I looked at some books, and I do see a lot of line movements from time to time on a website that I go on. And there was only one book, I believe it was Treasure Island in Vegas, that had 3.5s for like a few hours, and then they quickly went back down to 3. That was the only spot I saw it. It's just such a big catalyst as far as getting bets or taking bets away from another team if you move at that half point.
Right, and it goes from minus 105 to minus 140 for that half point. So
Yeah, right.
they're really kind of
I
directing.
wonder though if right before kickoff you might see line move because
maybe
just because they're saying the worst thing that could happen to the books right now would be a push, obviously. Would be a 3.
Yeah, right on.
Well, going to what Dr. Dan was talking about there, John Elway, Joe Montana, Jim Kelly, Kurt Warner. What do these guys have in common? Well, they've got Bill Belichick shutting them down.
Okay.
So, big-time offenses, rhythm offenses, he's done this over and over and over and over. So just going with history, you'd have to take a look at that. I think a couple of keys to the game today, both teams outstanding in their turnover margins, both very positive there. Time of possession, I think, is going to edge its way toward New England. I think that they're going to have the capability to control the ball, which will be key for them to keep Atlanta off the field. It's a simple mindset. I think for the Falcons, if they want to win this football game, they need to run the ball first. And if they'll commit to the run, I think that might bode well for them on the day, and then throw off of that. But just a couple of.
Do you think they're going to be able to run the ball? I mean, I know they have to try and run the ball. Do you think they're going to be able to run it?
I think they need to give it a shot. They need to try it. I don't think that they're going to have, just going off of history, I think that's going to be difficult for them to try to throw the ball against this New England team.
Yeah, New England's got the number 3 rush defense in the NFL. So
yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be they're going to have to flip the script, I think.
I don't like really hearing about either of these teams' defenses. I think both teams' defenses are good defenses, but I don't think that New England's defense is all that, and I definitely don't think Atlanta's defense is all that. And I'll give New England's defense is a little bit better in Atlanta, but there's things about New England's defense I don't like, and there's a lot of things about Atlanta's defense that I don't like.
I don't know, Dream. I disagree with you 100%.
I disagree, Whole. I think the Patriots defense might be the most underrated defense.
I agree, Dan.
In the NFL in half a decade.
They only give up 15 points a game, Dream.
And you play who's on the schedule, and I don't know, man. The secondary is great, the way they play, because the one thing that the Patriots are very good at is they'll take their number 2 corner, put him on your number 1 guy, but then help him out with a safety, and then your number 1 corner is shutting down Sanu or Gabriel. And look, the other stat that we got to recognize is even if Julio goes off, the Falcons are 4-4 when he has over 100 yards receiving. They're 500. So if they can't spread the ball around, and Belichick is the best at making you one-dimensional.
Yep, exactly.
It's going to be a very interesting game. This game is, again, on paper, it's so close. It's going to be.
My problem with the New England Patriot defense, before I get all excited about them, is they don't show me any pass rush. And if Matt Ryan is getting the ability to sit back in the pocket, even though he might start out sluggish, by the middle to end of the game, without getting pass rush or getting sacks, because go look at their sacks in comparison with the rest of the NFL, he's going to torch that defense.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll have to see how it goes. So, Charlie, where you at as far as your team?
Well, we as far as our pick today?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give out the free pick to anybody that wants to DM me. They got to answer a question though. They got to send me the answer on the DM. Who was the MVP of the first Super Bowl played in Houston? So send me the MVP of the first Super Bowl played in Houston. I'll give you our pick. I'll tell you that just from a quick hint. I heard kind of where we're looking. We're going to move the line. We're only going 1% on the bankroll today. We're going to sit back and enjoy the game. So we're not putting a whole bunch on this game, but it's definitely going to go with the experience. If you follow where I'm going.
All right, sounds good.
Definitely.
I
got one other quick thing I want to mention to you guys.
Yes.
You heard about the scandal, right?
The scandal.
The playbook.
Yeah, the Baggate. It's the latest and greatest. So did Kyle Shanahan really forget his bag, or forget where he put it, or did someone steal it? Who took the bag? It was a reporter.
Wow.
I think it was Chip Kelly because they're talking about replacing him as the coach of the 49ers. So Chip Kelly came and took the bag. And I hope this is an indication to the 49ers that maybe they should leave him alone.
Right on.
Oh, man.
All right.
Yeah, but
Well,
we're
Charlie,
leaning experience and history here.
best of luck to you today out in Houston, brother. I hope you cash with your plays. Moving
sir.
on to the Super Bowl, brother.
Hey,
Charlie,
thanks,
let
guys,
everybody
so
know where
much.
they can
Appreciate
find
it.
you, how they can get in touch with you, and
Yeah.
give them some information.
Okay, you guys want to DM me the answer to the trivia question there for the MVP for the first Super Bowl? You can look it up, Direct Sports Solution at charlesdevoy.1, or you just pull up Direct Sports Solution, we'll pull it up. You can find us online at directsportsolutions.com. Our phone number, you can reach us anytime, is 844-377-PICK or 7425. So that's 844-377-7425. And, man, I appreciate you guys having me on. I haven't been in touch with you guys in a minute. It's just been a crazy year for me. Hopefully things are going to line out real quick and get back on the move again. So appreciate it so much, and I wish you guys the best today as well.
All right, brother.
Charlie,
Thank you.
before you take off, no call would be complete without, especially if we calling you and talking to you from Houston without me asking you, how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? I know my brother told me a story. Now, my brother's a gigantic Cowboy fan. And he told me a story that how the Cowboy fans think. If you don't disrespect the Cowboys, because it'll shut down a conversation in about a second.
Yeah.
So I'm very careful when I speak to my brother about his Cowboys, because I was a Cowboy fan growing up, but I felt sorry for the Oilers because they beat them all the time. But times have changed. But the Cowboys had a great year, get that, and I think they have a bright future. So yeah, what a year they had, huh? But yeah, the old Cowboy fans. Where are they?
Good deal, man. All right, Charlie. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate
Have
it.
a great show, guys.
Hey, you too, man.
All
Take
right,
care.
brother.
later.
Thank you.
All right.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Later. Thank you, brother.
All right, boys.
By
So,
the way, guys, real quick,
Yes.
I just want to get this in because this has been confirmed. We do also realize that Falcon center Alex Mack does have a fracture in his left leg.
he does.
He obviously is going to be doped up, shot up, taped up, casted up, whatever. But come on, that's huge.
Yeah, it is. Very big. Very big. So, all right. So we started talking about this game a little bit. And, Dan, we got your opinion on it that you like the New England Patriots. So,
Sure.
in between phone calls, what we'll do is just talk about the plays that we have. And we'll start off with you, Dan, since you've already kind of let people know where you're at. Are you laying the 3? Are you laying 10.5? Are you laying 20? What are you doing?
So I got a bunch of plays in, but my biggest play. So I threw down the night of the NFC Championships after everything is wrapped up. I thought this line was going to move, so I jumped the 3 for $2,000. I got the Patriots -3 for 2G or 2,100 to win 2Gs.
Whoa.
Doctor, ball back.
I got no issue. I will be tweeting all these out after the show.
Don't
For those
tell
who
him
are
the
like,
numbers, Dad. Don't tell him the numbers.
Oh, I don't. What
The
else, man?
IRS is listening. They're gonna come after you, player.
IRS can, the IRS, if you're listening, it's going to be under 10 grand of winnings. I promise.
Don't tell him the numbers, player.
Oh, I don't care.
Well, not if you do
care.
the adjusted line for big money.
So I do, I have a fun $100 wager on -14.5.
-14.5. What's that pay?
That is 100 to win. What is it? Plus 398 or plus 390.
Plus 390. That's it.
Yeah,
Minus
plus
14.5?
390. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things. If you look, and a lot of the way that I make a decision on the Super Bowl, and a lot of things, I look at prop bets. And if you look at certain things like Matt Ryan to score a touchdown, or the Falcons to score a touchdown in the first quarter, the no is -150. And that's weird, right? So there's a lot of weird things that you see in prop bets, but on top of that, and I'm not going to give them all out right now, but one prop bet that I wanted to get your guys' opinion on because I thought it was a little crazy, and I'm going to take a shot in hell here, that the first punt of the game is going to be a touchback. And here's why. Both offenses are fairly explosive, right? So if you're punting the ball, right, you're probably going to be around midfield. I'm just saying, like, the chance of a touchback in the payout's plus 358.
Plus 358.
I'm going to take a shot.
I don't know if I like that, Dan. Because you know what?
Speaking of...
Go ahead.
Speaking of what, I just want to make a mention about these prop bets to our conspiracy theorist listeners out there, okay? Because if there ever was an opportunity for anything to be kind of shaky, some of the prop bets could be, for example, one of the more interesting ones I find is in the Fox broadcast, all right, will Aaron Hernandez be said during the broadcast?
Oh, yeah.
It's plus 1,400. So now imagine. All right.
Yeah, right.
Dreams on the Fox broadcast. He got $1 million on it.
I'm just saying, no. Imagine if I say, hey, Joe Buck or Troy, can you mention, something about Hernandez?
Dude, forget even that. Like, what if you were the brother of one of the punters, right? And you were like, yo, on your first punt, just get a touchback. I'll put $1 million on it. Pays out 3.6 mil.
Some of these are a little bit crazy. They got Grunk said over 3 times. They got JJ Watt said over 1 time, and then they got your boy the Donald. They say Donald Trump over
course.
2 times.
Anybody taking the Lady Gaga nip slip prop?
Well, you know what? There's a big question swirling around: will Lady Gaga bring up any kind of political stuff during her halftime show?
It's plus 700 for yes.
Oh no!
I don't think she's gonna do it though.
Yeah, I don't.
You just want somebody to do so. You just want like if you put that wage on, you're sitting there just saying, "Come on, give me something."
Yeah, right. Well, how much scrutiny would she get if she said, "Go Trump"?
You know what I mean?
I don't think we have to worry about
would that set the Super Bowl off crazy?
Yeah, right.
But
everybody just storms the field and goes insane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Oh man. So anyway. Dr. Dan is on the Patriots.
On something.
Yes.
Because there's another set of props out there that kind of is salivating, right? And that's Patriots players to score the first touchdown. Because it's always like a different dude. Yep. And you can get some of these guys. You get Chris Hogan, I think, at like plus 1,500.
Hoagie.
Martellus Bennett.
I think Martellus Bennett's going to have a big day. I don't know why. I have a feeling he's going to have a big day. I'm telling you.
Scott Weaver just posted the funniest.
Yeah, well, speaking of.
I want to know from Scott Weaver also how bad Clemson is going to get beat by FSU today.
All right. So do we have another phone call? Call it in today. Somebody, we got a heavy breather on the line.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
Dream, we got a heavy breather on the line here.
Scott Weave, what's up, man? You coming through in stereo as usual.
Hey, look here, man. I got to tell Hat this, man, and he going to enjoy this. I don't know if y'all know this, but Donald Trump was in Georgia this past week, and there's a Ford plant here, and they called him down and negotiate some more federal money to build some more bandwagons for all these damn Falcon fans been coming out the woodwork.
Scott, there's some talk that Donald Trump was in Georgia, but he was at a Ku Klux Klan rally.
Oh, boy, you didn't organize it for him, did you?
Talking about he was trying to get some more sheets. He was working on getting some more sheets.
But they all had to be made in America.
They all had to be made in America.
Hey, America first, Dream. America first.
Called us from Atlanta. Yeah. And we had to get my boy on the phone today. Y'all know he gave us the Clemson pick, came through in the clutch. Scott gave us the Clemson pick a year before it went down, as he gave it to us last season. Yes. Okay. And we got him on the phone today, and we are going to discuss. First, Scott, let's talk about, before we get into dynamics, let's go prop bet first, and then I want you to get dynamics about the game.
Man, I'm not a big prop bet, but I'm going to go ahead this year. I know you hit tails last year, but I think the away team gets to pick the coin toss, and it's about a 90% chance that New England calls heads. Seems like every game I've watched they've called heads, so I'm going to go with the heads this year on the coin toss.
All right. He's going to heads as far as the coin toss. I don't bet that. I just think I could probably do red or black at the casino and have the same odds. But Dream loves it.
It is the same odds.
Yeah, Dream loves it, and you know what? Good luck to him on that. So Scott,
except you can't get green like you can do red or black at the casino. You can't get green. You can get heads or tails.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. All right. So talk to us about the game, brother. We got New England -3, under over of 59, and I haven't heard a lot of total guys out there, but I don't know if you're getting involved with the total, but I know that you're a dog player and you're from Atlanta, so let's have a conversation.
Yeah, man, everybody knows I'm a big Bears fan, and living in Atlanta this week, man, I've seen more bandwagon fans come out of the woodwork, more jerseys, more T-shirts. I'm like, man, if I went to the Bears game when Michael Vick was the quarterback, and I swear there were more Chicago Bear fans there than there were Atlanta Falcon fans. And now everybody in Atlanta is a Falcons fan, which just trips me out. But I heard Dr. Dan talking about Atlanta's pass defense and how bad he feels they are. And when this line came out at -3, my first thoughts are Pats. You got Bill Belichick with 2 weeks to prepare for a team, which never is good for an opponent. And then you got the GOAT, Tom Brady, going for his 5th Super Bowl. So and my initial thoughts was Pats. So when Dream asked me to come on today, I started really digging into this game and a couple of things that I started looking at. If you look at the quarterbacks the Falcons have faced this year, they faced Rodgers, Wilson, Drew Brees, Killer Cam, Phillip Rivers, right? Mm-hmm. You look at the Pats, they faced Roethlisberger, Tannehill, Flacco, Wilson, and then Tannehill again, right? So then I started looking at the road records, you know, how they played on the road, because we both know home field advantage for the Pats is what it is. Listen to who they played on the road. Miami, the Jets, San Francisco, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Arizona. Right?
I loved. This is why I got you on the show right here. Thank you.
Now you look at Atlanta. They went to Carolina, to the Rams, to Philly, to Tampa, to Seattle, to Denver, to New Orleans, and to Oakland. Which one of those road schedules are a little harder?
Okay. Just preach.
Yep. Wait. Preach. The Rams. Where else? Carolina. Yeah, Carolina was great.
I mean, you go to Denver. How many teams win in Denver?
No, Denver.
New Orleans.
Wasn't
as terrible as New Orleans defense is, the Superdome ain't a venue you really want to go to. And then at Oakland with them crazy fools out there, those are tough venues. So when you look at those road records, the Pats have played nobody on the road, and then you culminate that with their home winning percentage. Which when's the last time they lost at home? I mean, those are things you got to look at, and I think that Atlanta is a little bit more battle tested than the Pats. If you look at who they played and where they played them.
And so that being said, you're still taking the Pats, though.
Honestly, Dream, I'm leaning toward the Falcons, man.
Okay.
You're leaning towards the Falcons.
And it's not because I'm a dog player. It's just the more I dig into this, the more I see that Atlanta's played tougher competition. I think offensively, they're a little bit more prolific. I know you got Tom Brady, but if you saw, the last couple games, I mean, they got the double-headed monster coming out of the backfield with Freeman and the other kid. Then you got Julio. You got Sanu, who came on the scene, after he got cut and really has produced. And I look at turnovers, Dream. You know how many turnovers the Falcons have had in the last 7 games? 1.
Really? That's impressive. 1
turnover in the last 7 games.
All right.
So if New England's going to beat Atlanta, they got to get them to turn the ball over. And the last 7 games is a tale of that. They're not going to turn the ball over. Atlanta will win this game.
Interesting. Dream, he's calling the Atlanta Falcons.
My thing is, and I like to break it down. I love the way you just broke that down, and that was impressive for me. And I agree with you on every little bit of it. The only thing that I'm going to say, well, not the only thing, I'm going to say a bunch of things, but here's where I'm at with this particular matchup. And this is what I like to ask myself. I like to go in the mirror, okay? And I like to look at myself in the mirror, okay? And I have to say to myself, if I bet the Atlanta Falcons and the Patriots win, how will I feel? And my answer to that is going to be like a fool, because I just cannot believe that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be capable to beat the New England Patriots because of Belichick, because of Brady, because the Patriots don't make dumb mistakes like every other team in the NFL. They don't do dumb things like every other team in the NFL. Like that whole playbook thing, as soon as I told Hat at the beginning of the week, as soon as you heard that a playbook was missing, you did not even for 1 second think that it was the Patriot playbook. You automatically knew. If you closed your eyes and you heard one of the teams lost the playbook, which one did it? Everybody would hold their hands up and say, Atlanta. Because you just know stuff like that does not happen with the Patriots. Last but not least, I'm sorry, but I still cannot ever forget that Atlanta has bombed in the playoffs up until now, historically, every season.
Yep.
And Dream, the first comment you made about looking yourself in the mirror and placing a wager against the Pats is the reason I haven't hit submit yet. And another thing you look at, New England had the best starting field position of any team in football this year. They averaged about 38-yard line with their starting field position. And I can only attribute to that to playing the Jets, San Francisco, Cleveland, Arizona, and Miami.
All right.
They win the games on the schedule. You know, you can only do that. I'm not saying it's not something, but I mean, you want to talk about a game. I mean, you're talking about the road record. I mean, look at what happened to the Falcons on the road at Philadelphia. I mean, rookie quarterback, decent team, mediocre this year at best, and then they got held to 15 points. You know, and the Eagles were able to score all over them. I'm just saying, you're giving Belichick and Brady an extra week. You have, again, a rhythm offense in Atlanta that I'm going to be very curious to see if they can really pick up where they left off. I'm just not seeing it.
Okay.
And I just think if they get down early, I don't think they're coming back.
Yep.
I do agree, Dr. Dan, what you said. Momentum is key, and that will be a part of the Super Bowl as they were riding so high. Now you got 2 weeks off. What does that look like? I agree with you there. That's going to be a key in the game as well.
All right.
So let me ask you this: if Atlanta doesn't score in the first quarter, do they win the game? Can they win the game?
If they don't score in the first quarter, I'm not sure they will. But here's what I'll tell you. Another play that I would take is, you know, all you hear about is how New England hasn't scored in the first quarter of any Super Bowl. I would lay the 0.5 point New England first quarter over Atlanta. I think that's going to come to an end today.
Okay. All right. Scott Weaver, thank you very much for joining us. We got one more guest coming in, and just looking forward to having a big day, man. So best of luck to you with your plays.
Oh, hold on. Wait
All
a
right,
minute.
fellas.
Did I just talk you off of hitting the submit button?
Man, I won't hit you up and tell you exactly what I take, man. But I'm with you, man. It's hard to look yourself in the mirror and go, man, let me hit submit on Atlanta when you got Tom Brady on Belichick on the other side. I agree, man. But you know me, man. Half my plays you hold your nose and hit submit. So
Yes,
you know
sir.
it won't be any different.
My issue also that I didn't discuss, and I did discuss this off with a couple other people as far as the DM is concerned. I did talk about Seattle's ability to move the ball on Atlanta's defense in that playoff game. It bothers me because Seattle's offense is absolutely terrible, dreadful. We know their offensive line was yours. But Seattle was able to move the ball against the Falcons in their playoff game. And my thing is, if you want to let Seattle move the ball against you, Tom Brady is going to wear that defense out.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Dream, here's one thing that we haven't talked about. The head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, where'd he come from?
I don't buy a lot into that, but I know he came from the school of Patriots, but I just don't buy a lot into that.
Got it. So
I mean, the man came from Seattle. He already prepared the defense for New England last year, and if it wouldn't have been
we
for
can't be talking about Atlanta's defense here.
If it wouldn't have been for not running Marshawn Lynch, we wouldn't even be talking about, Tom Brady and the Pats. We'd be talking about Seattle winning the Super Bowl. So I think Quinn coming from Seattle, he'll have a plan for Tom Brady. Now, whether they can execute it, that's a whole other issue. But, at the end of the day, I got my boy Vic Beasley and Grady Jarrett starting on the defensive line from the Clemson University playing for the Atlanta Falcons. So, that's just one more reason to root for him, I guess.
The defensive athletes on the Seattle Seahawks compared to the defensive athletes on the Atlanta Falcons, it's you can't even, you know what I mean? You can't even.
Oh, I agree. They got way better athletes, man, and the injuries they had really cost them. So I agree. They're going to have the plan, but like I said, can they execute it with the players they got? That's going to be the question.
Got it.
And if you look at Atlanta's defense and you look at their average, points given up, Atlanta's defense gives up a lot of points. You look at their record and you look at the points that they've given up, even in their wins, they just went out and outscored a bunch of teams, and that has to be, taken into consideration. You allow the Chiefs to score 29 with the poorest offense, as far as Kansas City's concerned. You allow a lot of other teams. Tampa Bay, you give up 28 to them. Green Bay, you give up 30 plus twice. The Chargers, 30. They give up a lot. You gave Killer Cam 30 as well. They give up a lot of points. And I think their mindset has been, we're going to try to outscore you. And the Patriots are going to say, okay, we'll get into that outscore you race because, you know what? I think our defense can snub you more times than your defense can snub us.
And let's talk about that for a second. They play Green Bay twice, right? They won by 1 point, giving up over 30 the first game at Atlanta. They come back. And if you watch the Green Bay game, all those points are in garbage time, man. They're down 21 points off the jump. All that's garbage time. So you talk about a game plan that's way different from game 1 to game 2. You saw a dramatic difference. And I think the game plan that they're going to put together for the Patriots has got to be executed. They got to execute the game plan to win. But I can tell you the game 1 and game 2 against Green Bay, totally different outcomes and totally different game plans going into to try to stop Rodgers in that offense.
Guys in the secondary that probably none of those 2 out of 3 guys in the secondary might not be on an NFL roster next year. I'm saying you play who you play, but the secondaries are completely different here.
Not only that, Green Bay was exhausted from celebrating over the Cowboy win, and everybody
because they was all at your house
telling them, this is the Super Bowl. Thank you so much for making this happen.
Yeah. Good point.
Scott Weaver, tell them who you with. Tell them how you get before you get out of here. Tell people where they can find you at, and thank you so much for calling in, brother.
Oh man, I'm always down with y'all boys. Twitter handle is @Weave808. Then you can hit me on my website at grindtimesportspicks.com. Always a good time chopping it up with y'all boys, man, and good luck with whatever submit button you hit on.
All right, sounds good, Weave. Thank you.
As well.
Thank you.
All right, fellas.
All right, take care.
Later.
All right, guys, so now we are in between calls, and I'm going to kick it over to the Dream. Dream.
Yes, sir.
I have a feeling, just based on the facts that you've been alluding to all show, where you're going. So you haven't been secret about it. Hasn't been a secret. Where are you going today? Who are you taking?
Taking the New England Patriots, Evan. I'm taking the New England Patriots. Half of the wager will be with the spread, and the other half is going to be on the money line, simply because the last time the Patriots were in the Super Bowl, I money lined them. And that money line was the difference because they didn't cover their spread.
Okay.
I also want to give out one of my favorite prop bets, and I'm not going to take credit for it because I was given it yesterday by Killer Cam 505 gave me this prop bet, and the prop bet was, will there be a roughing the passer call?
Okay.
It's my absolute favorite prop bet. As far as, yes, there will be a roughing the passer call. I believe that there will be one. So I like that prop bet.
All right. Sounds good. So that's where you're at. You're at New England Patriots money line and -3. When you did the -3, you didn't get it down to 2.5?
Well, yeah, of course, 2.5, but I'm taking the money line as well.
You're going to take the money line as well. Okay. All right. So both of you guys are on the New England Patriots. Interesting. Cool. All right, so looking at a couple of things here. As far as the MVP is concerned, guys, I've been saying, here's my feeling. That New England Patriots showcase someone different each and every week. We've seen it time and time again. I think it might be Martellus Bennett's turn.
It's for the MVP?
I'm going to take a shot.
No.
50 to 1 shot, Dream.
No. Because here's the reason why it won't be.
Why?
If the Patriots win the game, it has to be Tom Brady. Or everybody's going to be like, oh, Godell just didn't want to shake his hand.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. What if he has...
It's got to be the quarterback. I mean, it's got to be the guy who then... Because Brady, if he wins, will break the record for most Super Bowls won. There's no way. Unless somehow he throws like 3 interceptions and a defensive player somehow wins it. There's no way it's not Tom Brady if they win.
So, in the situations... so when you have a big receiver... that has a ton of yards, you're saying that the quarterback gets more accolades than him?
But that's not the Patriots. I'm not saying that Julio Jones couldn't win it if the Falcons won the game.
Okay.
If he had like 13 catches and 198 yards and a couple touchdowns. But I would still bet money that it would be Matt Ryan.
Okay.
I mean, it's a quarterback award.
The quarterbacks are basically almost even money to be MVPs. And Tom Brady's actually minus 125 on the book that I'm looking at right now. Matt Ryan plus 130. I don't know. I'm going to take a shot, though. I'm going to take a shot with some of these players. I mean, Dream, Martellus Bennett's been quiet for like a month and a half, and he's been banged up a little bit. So looking at him, James White, and who else? I think I'm going to take a shot with Mitchell as well. 90 to 1.
White to be the Super Bowl MVP. I love it.
Why not?
Hey man, I mean, do what you got to do.
Why not? Why not? That's all I'm going to say.
I think you should look at though. I mean, you're on the right track. I think there's lots of props out there about guys who will actually catch touchdown passes.
Yep.
Where you can make some good money on, because the Patriots, you're saying like the 9th guy off the bench will somehow, like an offensive lineman, will catch a touchdown pass.
Right, exactly.
So I'm with you there.
All right, and I'll give my thoughts on the side after our next guest who just came on. And I believe this is the beautiful one who is on the show. Queen, are you there?
I'm here. What's up, guys?
What's up? How you doing?
What's going on?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We saved the best and the sexiest for last. We wanted to brighten up the day a little bit, make it a little bit sexy, throw a little bit of twist onto Super Bowl Sunday by gracing your audience with your beauty and pleasantry. But we want to hear about your football knowledge.
No, I hope I sound okay. I've been a little under the weather. This Florida weather. The winter's pretty rough down here, so.
Got it.
Oh, yeah. Tell us
sure.
about it. Right.
Sure. But anyway, Queen, it's good to hear from you, as always. And just looking forward to hearing what you got to say about the big game today.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about this game. I think it's a lot closer than people are, thinking. I mean, I'm noticing that everyone's on Atlanta. It's like 60-40 Atlanta on the picks. But I'm not so sure that has to do with an actual knowledge of how to sports bet. I think it's more of a heart play. People just don't want to see the Patriots win again. But I do have an interesting stat. Out of the 4 Super Bowls, I think the reason the line is -3 is because 3 out of the 4 Super Bowls, Brady's covered by 3. So that's a huge stat. I mean, the last Super Bowl, 2015, it was 4 points, and the ones before that, it was 3. So if I had to make a recommendation, if you guys are going to play the Patriots, I'd buy it half a point down. I'd buy the hook. And if you're going to play Atlanta, I'd buy a half point up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So getting it either 3.5 or the 2.5. I totally understand that and get it.
Yep. But, the Dirty Birds are in action. They're the hot team. So, what do? Do you take the hot team, or do you take the consistent team with Belichick and Brady and say, you know what? That's consistency. We got to play them. It makes sense. Because as Dream said, how do you bet against them? Mm-hmm. How do you do that? At the end of the day, if you bet against them and they win, you're all sitting back going, we should have known better.
Yep.
We should have known better.
Right.
But, I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going.
Where are you going? I'm just going to ask you the question right now.
I'm going with Atlanta.
Oh,
I can't believe her. She's going, and I actually knew this because her and I talked before this, and I did know that she was going in Atlanta. I am trying to talk you off of the ledge.
Wow. Why are you going with Atlanta, Queen?
So I'll tell you why I'm going with Atlanta.
Go ahead, please.
It's you know, it comes down to the fact that I did play a future bet on them to go to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I'm already invested in this. And I just, guys, I mean, they are so strong offensively. And I know that this is an argument, you know, defense wins championships. But the way that Atlanta's going to win is if they get to Brady. If they can't get to Brady, then they got a problem. So they got to figure out how to get to him and shake him up. If they do that once, twice, 3 times in the game, it's going to be their game.
Yeah, but how are they going to?
The question is, how can they? How can they do it?
Hold on. If the Atlanta Falcons get to Brady 3 times, you're saying that they're going to win the game.
I'm not even saying 3 times. I'm saying if they can shake him up. You know, if they can get to him once, because that shakes Brady up. I mean, you guys know his history. It's just the problem is getting to him.
No, because I was going to say, if you want to give me Atlanta Falcons to sack Brady 3 times, do I think if that's all they're going to sack him? I'm going to give you the Patriots are definitely winning.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm not saying that that's what it's going to take. I'm saying they need to get to him. They need to shake him up. Whether they sack him, they need to shake Brady up. And that's going to be the challenge for Atlanta, because what's scary is that Atlanta's defense in the red zone is not good. Is really not good. So they're going to have to stop them well before that. I know, saying all of this out loud, you're going, why am I going with the Patriots, right? I'm saying all of this out loud, and I have to go with Atlanta. I have to. And I love Brady, guys. I love Brady, and I love Belichick because he makes me a lot of money during the season. But it's that hot team that rolls, and I think a good play is looking at the total. I notice no one's talking about that. I'm not really sure why.
All right, 59 points. What do you think? You think it goes over that?
I think it goes over. I think if the Patriots are going to win, like all you guys are saying is going to happen, they're going to have to score. We know that they're capable of doing it. We know Atlanta's going to score. So I think it's going to be like a 62-point game.
My issue is this. If the Patriots get out to a lead of more than 14 points, I feel like, and this is this is my feel for a game. I was going to do this after you got off the phone. I'm going to do it with you right now on the phone. I feel like Atlanta will completely panic and completely implode, and you won't get any scoring out of the Atlanta Falcons, because it's one of those situations, and we've seen this before as Super Bowls and big games. You've got this offensive juggernaut, and they're expecting their offense to roll, and all of a sudden the other team comes out, they get off to that fast start, they kind of punch you in the mouth, and now all of a sudden this offense is scrambling and they're forcing stuff to try to match what just happened, and it ends up imploding. This reminds me a lot of Denver, Seattle, even though I obviously don't think the Patriots defense is as good as Seattle was then, but it kind of reminds me of Denver, Seattle, when Seattle, when Denver had that great offense, Peyton had that incredible year, and everybody expected to see this great offensive game, and Seattle came out and punched Denver right in the mouth. Now, what could happen, though, is the Patriots could get all the points by themselves, because Matt Ryan may just start throwing interceptions, and just bad breaks may really start, just overwhelming the Atlanta Falcon offense.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen, but I think Atlanta's going to come out. I think it's going to be the other way around. And then Brady, and then Brady's going to pick it up. I don't think that there's going to be a 14-point deficit in the first half. I just don't think so. I think Atlanta's going to come out scoring hard, and then it's going to be a headache.
When do you see Brady, and this is my issue, and this is another reason why I got to take the Patriots. When do you see Brady not able to execute? You just forget it. There's no, I'm not, that conversation.
Especially against the 27th ranked pass defense in the league. And not only that, guys, but look, the Falcons, 34 sacks on the year. 34 sacks on the whole year. So let's say they hit that average. That's 2.1 sacks. You knock down Brady even 3 or 4 times, and they don't do that. They don't disrupt things. They're hoping for coverage sacks and things like that. I'm not seeing it either. I'm seeing that Brady has any number of weapons. People aren't even talking about Amendola. People aren't talking about, there's so many different guys that just come out of the woodwork to make things happen. And I'll tell you this, Edelman has a huge game today. I know, Hatter, I know you love Bennett, and I think he catches some TD passes. Edelman is going to exploit this defense in the middle.
Okay. I have a question for you guys here, and while we have the beautiful Queen on. Is there a reason why that the broadcast would say the word lacrosse? There's a lacrosse. It's a prop bet that the word lacrosse will not be said during the broadcast during the game. It's plus 205. Why would they say the word lacrosse?
I can't answer that question.
The casinos have been brought. I know we have a new MLL team, Major League Lacrosse team, that's playing out of one of the casinos in Connecticut. There's been a ton of commercials about it lately.
Yeah, but maybe that's something. I have no idea. It's plus 205. Why would they say lacrosse during a Super Bowl game?
Makes no sense.
Very interesting. All right, and
I'll stay away from it.
All right, all right, sounds good. So
Pat just took all the steam out of the whole show with that comment.
Hey, I'm trying to make money, player. I'm trying to make money. It's plus 205.
Go ahead. You trying to make money? Go pop it on the lacrosse prophecy. We'll be at the game. How do we still watching it after the post game and the interviews? Please, somebody say lacrosse.
No, I'm saying that they're not going to say it. Plus 205. Just saying. So, Queen, you got any novelty props or anything that you're playing today?
I usually look at those towards the closer into the game. I mean, I haven't really pulled them up. I mean, I usually do the coin toss because who doesn't? That's just fun. And I always play heads. But I mean, I really don't know until closer in. Those are always fun. You never risk a lot of money on them. You just do it for the fun of it. And the national anthem going under 230. That's a lock.
Is it a lock? Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So where are you going to be watching the game today?
I will be in sunny South Florida at a Super Bowl party, doing my thing, jumping on the couch, screaming and yelling, and hoping that my future bet pays off.
All right. Sounds good, guys. So,
Queen, listen, when you lose that bet, though, I got hugs and kisses for you right here, baby girl. You can just come on down here, and you can cry all over my shoulders, and I will comfort you in your time of need.
I appreciate you saying that live because I think you're giving me more luck than you think.
There you go. Sounds good. Well, Queen.
But it's so nice to talk to you guys and everyone.
It was great talking to you too, Queen. And Hatter, you got some vindication here.
What's that?
Chris Hogan played college lacrosse, which is why they'll probably bring it up.
Interesting.
I thought there was a player. I was like, there's got to be a player.
And I got to give a shout out to Riley Holmes on that.
Oh yeah.
No,
okay.
You know what they do? They do talk about that because they mentioned it in the last game that when the Patriots played the Steelers. That was mentioned in that Steelers game. I do remember that being mentioned. Now that you bring that up, yes.
Wow. All right. Interesting. So
big shout out to Riley Holmes.
Because didn't he go to an Ivy League school as well, Dan?
He go to Princeton, something like that.
Yeah,
I know he's
like
another
right.
one of those smart dudes.
I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out why they would say that during the program. But now I get it. So, hey, it's all good, guys.
I would have had to put his money on it. They talk about it right out of this guy from Princeton off the lacrosse team. That's like, my God.
He went to Penn State.
Not only that, the thing about them saying something, if you're at a Super Bowl party, how much are you going to miss what they say anyway?
Yeah, right. Good point.
All I'm saying though is like if you're one of these announcers, I know you got a few bucks in the mint already, but like why not get your brother, your cousin or something, be like, yo, look, you put everything down. I'm going to say everything.
Yeah, right.
Put it down on Aaron Hernandez. I got to talk about it.
I'm going to say Aaron Hernandez 100 times.
I'm gonna make a call now. I'm gonna make a call now.
Oh man, that's funny. So, all right, Queen. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Unless you guys got anything else for the beautiful one. Any other questions?
I don't
for
have
her?
anything else for her. I'm just gonna ask you one more time before you leave
No.
the program. And I know you have the future, Ben, but before you leave the program, I want to ask you one more time because you're gonna be hitting me up at the end of the night. You're gonna be like, Dream, you know what? This is just stupid. Like, why did I do that? I mean, this is the thing. Just the Patriots, and a lot of people, I've talked about it on the show before all season long. The Patriots this season, if you just bet the Patriots all season long, even with the spread, all you did was win.
Yep.
That's all they
Of course.
did.
That's why I said I love them. Yeah, I made a lot of money with them.
Win. There is absolutely no reason how you jump off that bandwagon today, and especially there is no way you can trust the Atlanta Falcons, who have never been a clutch team in a big spot. They just have never been. I feel they've had a great season. I feel they've got a lot of talent, but I feel that if the game I feel every other thing that you can think about this game and anything and everything that can happen, the Patriots are so much better prepared than the Atlanta Falcons will be. And I can so see the Atlanta Falcons sitting on that sideline, everybody's heads down, they threw the iPads in the ground, and it's crying. It's crying.
And Dream, one thing that we don't really touch on at all, about this Patriots team, which, people forget that the NFL sometimes is 3 phases. There is not a better special teams out there than the New England Patriots as well. And, why that's important, I mean, when you haven't been there before, you want to fair catch a ball at the 30. I don't know, man. I could see some like muff punts, something going down on the Falcon side today. And
that's what, I agree with you. And what I'm worried about is that happening right out the gate, because to me, the slightest mistakes the Falcons make, and especially early, it's like a nail in the coffin for them. Because like I said, it so reminds me of Denver, Seattle. And remember, Denver comes out with the safety right out of the gate, and it was a wrap from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If because the Patriots, even if they got down early, 2 scores, 17 points, whatever, it's obviously not good. But you could see them managing it because it's Brady, right? If the Falcons do that, if they fumbled the ball, on their own 15 or 20 out of the gate, if they do, pretty much game over, I think.
Yep. All right.
Well, 2017 is about making history, guys. So, you know my cell phone. You can hit me up later.
All right.
Hit me up later.
Yep. We're gonna be texting the Queen later on, Dream. All right.
And I'll be texting back.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you very much again, honey. We really appreciate you always calling in. So thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right.
Have a wonderful Super Bowl and be safe.
All right, you too.
All right.
You too. Take care.
All right.
Later.
Bye.
All right, guys. So we're gonna hang up with her real quick, and then we're gonna get over to me. So both of you guys are on the New England Patriots, and you know what? I'm joining the party. I'm with the New England Patriots 100% here. I've been with them ever since I heard the matchup. I just said this. I said, Dream, and it goes kind of in line with what you were saying. It just says basically that looking yourself in the mirror, like you said, it's the New England Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons. Just say that like 5 times in a row. It's superiority versus the team that has not been successful in the playoffs. You look at the New England Patriots now, guys. They have covered the spread 15 out of their last 18 games this year, this is including 4 games without Brady with Garoppolo. Think about that for a minute. They went 3-1 under Belichick with Garoppolo, and God forbid Matt Ryan gets banged up and gets exited out of the game. God forbid. I mean,
forget even right. You're playing with a center that has a cracked leg.
I know. Now, you want to give me the fact that the Atlanta Falcons obviously they've won. I mean, they've basically have the number one scoring offense in the NFL, but half of those games are in a dome. And and then the rest of them are playing teams of the likes of Carolina, who had a terrible defense this year. New Orleans had a terrible defense this year. I mean, they have put these points up, but against a lot of teams that don't have a great defense. Now, when you look at the New England Patriots, guys, listen, I know you play who you play, who's on your schedule. I understand that, but still, 15.6 points per game is what they're allowing. That is it. And you know what? I mean, on the ground, they're one of the best rush defenses in the NFL. Now,
I got one more for you, Hatter.
Go for it.
Since 2000, 6 times the number one scoring offense has played in the Super Bowl. 1-5.
1-5. Defense wins championships. Dream, we saw it last year with the Denver Broncos. And obviously they had a superior defense than this year's New England Patriots. But I think that New England Patriots, I think they have a special team this year. I don't remember them having this good of a defense in any of their previous championship years. I really don't. Unless you guys do. I don't remember them having this good of a defense.
The first one, when you were talking about when it was, Brewski and Wilfork, that was a pretty special defense. I find the Pats always underrated on defense, but this one is... I mean, you also have to they traded away like the number one linebacker too in the middle of the season, and they're still dope.
Right. And just, I mean, when you look at, when you go up and down the roster offensively of the New England Patriots, the amount of depth is insane as far as their receiving core. I mean, between, you got Bennett, you got James White offensively, you've got Hogan Hogues. I mean, you got just so many different people. Edmund, Amendola. I mean, it just goes on for days and days and days. Martellus Bennett, I think, has a big day today. This Atlanta defense, guys, they give up a lot of points per game. A ton. I mean, they give up, 26? Well, let me see here. Atlanta gives up, 25.4 points per game. Dream, when it comes down to making a stop, the Patriots have a way better shot at making a stop than the Atlanta Falcons, period. I'm on New England.
Not only that, the Patriots, and I've talked about this as well throughout the course of the season, the Patriots will have come up with something specifically special to do from a weakness that they found in Atlanta's offense over viewing the film. Offensively and defensively, but you'll see it more. I think their defense will show you something that they found that Atlanta has a tendency to do, X, Y, Z in these situations. So they're going to call, a corner blitz or a linebacker, just something different that they are going to prepare exclusively for the Atlanta Falcons. And you don't see this in a lot of teams in the NFL or even in college. You miss this, but that the Patriots will do something different to attack weaknesses that they found that the Atlanta Falcons are susceptible to. I've already heard Belichick talk about he really respects the speed of the Atlanta Falcons, so that's letting you know he's probably trying to figure out what he can do, anywhere from trying to glue up maybe the Atlanta Falcons cleats to put glue on them to water in the field. I know it's in the dome, but Bill probably was out there last night, snuck in late, and got the sprinkler system in the dome going.
He already got the playbook.
To get it slowed up.
That'll be the next thing, yeah.
That the Patriots are going, they're just so much, to me, leaps and bounds above the rest of the league as far as what they expect out of their players, and they get their players to execute. They don't make mistakes, and they will definitely find a way with what your weakness is. You cannot, listen, if you are I'm sorry, and the Patriots may lose, okay? The Patriots may lose. Here's my thing, though, like I said, the flip side to that mirror question is, if the Patriots lose, how bad will you feel? Because you won't. You'll say, you know what? I took the best team that I could take, and they lost.
I'll still feel bad.
No.
No, you're going to feel bad, Dan.
I'm going to feel bad. But hey, you know what? I'll be so drunk by then that one way or the other, you know. It'll either be passing out with tears of happiness or sadness.
But I just think, you know, like I said, you can't, even if you bet the Patriots and they lose, it's not from a smart gambler standpoint and a smart wagerer standpoint. You cannot be mad at yourself. You can't.
Yeah,
I agree. You know, the other play that I like, I think I like the Brady 4 touchdown play.
4 touchdowns.
Plus 420.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Because three touchdowns is minus 102. And then you get a jump. And the Patriots love to throw the ball, even with LeGarrette Blount on the 1-2 yard line. So I'll take my chances at plus 420.
All right. And you know what? A couple more points that I want to point out is that, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers had a very good offense, Dream. Very good offense. Obviously, you know, Bell was sitting on the sideline after the first quarter. But, I mean, what they did to Antonio Brown and basically just shutting down that offense was pretty impressive. I don't know. And another point I want to give to you is that, you know how Atlanta likes to blitz off the edge and leave one-on-one coverage downfield? Brady's going to murder them with that. I mean, he's going to, you know, he's going to see that guy coming off the edge. You know, he's going to see it because they did it to Aaron Rodgers.
I wanted to talk about the Steelers. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't take a lot from that game because I think the Steelers losing Le'Veon Bell at the point when they lost him, it was like it just blew their whole game plan out of the water. And that was something that was just unforeseeable. And if guys want to tell me that wasn't a big deal, I'm like forget it. I don't know.
I think you don't take a lot out of it because the Steelers spanking the Patriots spanking the Steelers is like saying the sky is blue. It's just an inevitability.
No, I hear you, but I'm saying for the Steelers to lose Le'Veon Bell when they lost him, that to me was hugely impactful to their offensive game plan going into that game. So that's why because I originally, you know, that would be my game that I would focus on because I happen to think that the Steelers offense is as good, if not better. I'll say as good. No, and I'm going to go if not better than the Atlanta Falcons offense. I felt that it's definitely, you know, if the Patriots can, but losing Bell just makes me say before I want to just put too much stock into that, I do know that the Steelers psyche had to be, you know, blown up because losing Bell at the early stage. But once again, you know, the Falcons give you two pieces of that as far as their run game with both of their running backs. So if one goes down, at least they will have a formidable backup to handle the workload. I just, you know, like Kat said and like we talked about, they're not able to. The Patriots defense is very good against the run. You know, they're going to take Julio Jones out of the game. So the other guys are just going to have to.
But they don't actually have to, and I don't think that's how they're going to play this to take him completely out of the game. I'm not saying you let him go wild, but remember when he's over 100 yards receiving, they're a 500 football team.
Got it.
They're a 500 football team. You know, I almost think that what he does is you're going to see Patrick Chung trying to take away Tevin Coleman, which I think is a great matchup. You're going to see Sanu and Gabriel being erased off the board. And I'm not saying that Julio's going to necessarily be one-on-one, but he's going to get his catches. He's going to get his yards. I just don't think he kills them. And then at the end of the game, it's like, yeah, so he had 105 yards and nothing.
And you know what, too? I mean, a lot of people talk about, oh, my God, well, they have two running backs, you know, being Coleman and Devontae Freeman. But they're on the field in different times. So that doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest with you. It's the same thing like Lewis and Blunt.
You don't think they would install anything where they're both on the field at the same time?
I haven't seen them both on the field at the same time. Have you, Dream?
Nope.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So that's why I hear that rhetoric and I just laugh because I'm like, well, you're just going to have one or the other on the field. So what difference does it make? It's one of the two guys. And the same thing with Blunt or Lewis. I mean, that's when you have a two-back set, that's the way it is.
Yeah, and in the NFL with the defense, you know, the defense gets last chance to match up anyway. So yeah,
I don't believe that you're going to go with a two-back set anyway because if you do the two-back set, you're going to lose pass protection and you're going to look for one of the running backs to be put in more of a pass protection situation. And you definitely don't want, you know, you're not going to use him as a fullback and run out of I for him because they're not
of
running.
course.
They're not run blocking backs.
Right.
So I mean, the two-back set is just not going to be successful.
No.
The only thing that I would say is maybe you see him actually lining up in the backfield for like a shotgun play as receivers.
Yeah.
Well, you could do two-back receivers, or you go no back, and
Right.
you five wide, but you implement the running backs in both receivers position. It's not something I've seen Atlanta do at all this season. I don't expect Atlanta to come to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl and want to try to promote one of them plays.
They don't
Well,
want to see
maybe
him
that's what you got to do if you want to win.
Well, you might be right, but I wouldn't take my chances trying that.
All
I'm
right.
with you.
All right, sounds good. And I did another prop here. Atlanta sacks New England under 1.5 times. I kind of like it, plus 130. So, Brady's really good at not getting sacked.
Oh, he's so good at getting the ball away.
He gets the ball away fast. If they want to blitz him off the edge, like I said before, good luck. So I'm taking the New England Patriots, and Dan, I may even get involved in an adjusted line.
Woo! I love it.
I think they win by 10 or more.
The one thing that we haven't talked about, and I'm going to play devil's advocate again, even though I'm taking the Patriots, but for the line people, okay, and this is the conspiracy theorist people and the line people, the one thing I am going to say about this game, I think the spread's wrong.
I agree with you.
I think that the Patriots should be giving more points to Atlanta. I honestly do. I haven't understood the 3 at all. I think the Patriots should be giving more points.
Like 4.5, Dream?
When that line came out, Dream, my eyes went bug-eyed. I thought it was going to open at 5, 5.5, 6. I'm still not seeing it.
Yeah. Well,
I don't understand. I've been, I didn't say it at all yet, but I'm saying it today. I don't understand the line at 3. I just don't. And I think you're absolutely right. I think it should have opened at 5, and it should be by right now up to 6.5, almost 7.
Wow, that much, huh?
I mean, based on the Patriots' body of work this season, the way they've done, the way they've beaten all their opponents, the way they played, plus with their history, plus with their coaching staff, hell yeah, I don't understand why the line's 3. I cannot figure that out for the life of me.
You know what it is, though? The Queen did bring up a point, which is crazy, and I know, like, the percentage of public bets has been on the Patriots, but, like, I think they are by far the most hated team, so people just like to bet against them. Like, just your person that really doesn't give a crap, that doesn't really watch the NFL is just like, all right, I'm going to put my ticket on Atlanta because why not?
I don't think that's the case anymore with the Patriots. I think that used to be the case with the Patriots, but in Patriots' recent years, with their, their lack of success, and especially in the Super Bowls, I don't think you have that hate against the Patriots in this particular venue as you have had in years past.
I know for me, I don't hate him anymore, but that's just because I hate Roger Goodell more.
Right. And I also think that, this year too, of course, the Dallas Cowboys took a lot of that hate because people generally hate the Patriots, just switched it to hating the Cowboys more. And I just don't feel that. I feel the Patriots, it's like that villain that turned good guy.
Yeah, right.
All of a sudden, like you said, the thing with Goodell, the Deflategate, just some of the stuff that's happening to them, it's that bad team that the team everybody hated has now turned into good guy. And, Tom Brady, at his elevated age now as far as the NFL and just still playing absolutely superior, top of his game, I think people are very impressed with that, and they respect what the Patriots are doing.
Dream, tell me if it doesn't remind you, and all of us are old enough to remember, this is what it reminds me of. Towards the end of Jordan's career, right? If you were a Knicks fan, if you were a Pacers, if you were pretty much any fan, you hated Jordan, you hated the Bulls. But you can't hate the greatest of all time.
No, agreed.
Right.
Absolutely. Great analogy. Analogy. Gang, we ready to get out of here?
Yeah, we are. Just one thing. I did find Martellus Bennett plus 8,000.
Please whip
But he is the most interesting interview. You are right about that. I can watch him all day.
8,050.
You're out there. You Martellus Bennett. He's insane.
I'm gonna go put a Gino on and make 80 grand.
Did he get you up some sponsor money?
I'm gonna put 1,000 on and make $80,000 playing.
Which was in the inner circle with Martellus
Next NFL season, you're going to see Martellus Bennett in every single one of Hatter's DraftKings lineups, just because Martellus Bennett paid him $10 a week.
He's on my free package, but
He's on your free package?
if you want the
So
Mercedes-Benz
you
package,
give it out Chris Hogan?
Martellus Bennett has helped Hat pull building permits for the houses that he's building. So Hat is promoting Martellus Bennett today. As
Hat wasn't really in San Antonio last week, and Hat made a stop off in Houston to snag a playbook.
yes, exactly. So, all right, guys.
Hey, hold on. Before we go, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't listen. Yesterday, I am first off.
Yeah, don't bring that nonsense here, Dream.
Yesterday was absolutely awful. I don't know what happened, but the Dream almost never has 2 days like that. By the way, the Toronto Raptors, who absolutely have been terrible lately on like a 7-game losing streak, are getting the Brooklyn Nets today.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to get a little bit before the Super Bowl. I see it's only -6. I think the Raptors run wild in Brooklyn.
Okay. Well,
and if you want another early one, the only other thing that I'm playing, and I'm not even going to break it down. Sorry, Weave. I got to go Florida State -7 at home against Clemson today.
Okay.
12:30 tip.
All right, boys. So that's going to do it for us, and great show today.
Great show today. I want to thank everybody out there that's retweeted as always. Gang, be careful. Listen, there's a whole lot of wagers out there. If you're not comfortable with where you're going with the game, you could do live wagers. You could do a halftime play. You could do quarter plays. Obviously, there's a billion prop bets. There's like 400 prop bets out there. You know, maybe you don't love the game. If you don't love it, and or you're like Mr. Weaver said, you want to take Atlanta, but you can't hit the submit button. Find another angle. Find another thing to play. Team totals are out there as well. I mean, there's a lot of other wagers that you can bet without betting this game if you're not comfortable. Don't force it just because it's the Super Bowl, or get yourself involved in some squares at the parties, whatever. Listen, enjoy the game. Enjoy the commercials. If you get a chance to watch those, it should be great commercials. We expect that. I want to thank everybody that's retweeted. I want to thank Sin City Maverick. I want to thank G Rose, Terrence Mack, JDH24, C. Rodriguez Jr., Jay Gotts, Rick Lopez, Irish Wishwatch. Say that 5 times fast. Fast Eddie 72, Nick Orestes Marlin, Jeff Ryan, Irvin, Cash Action Bets, Joseph Del Rosario. I also want to thank all of our guests that called in today. It was great having them on the show. To be advised, Jeff Ryan's telling me no Lowry and no DeRozan today. No Lowry and DeRozan today. If that is the case, then leave the Raptors alone.
Yes. All right. And
never mind. I'm sorry I even mentioned that.
Well, since you guys got
still
some
win.
junky plays out there, I'm going to tell you that I'm also going to take the Falcons under 28 points at +100.
And please understand that Hat's going to wear I love Martellus Bennett jersey at the
I got the Martellus Bennett jersey with the Make America Great Again hat.
So here's everything I'm rolling with, guys. I got the Patriots -3 for my very large wager. Rolling with a -14.5. We're gonna go with the first punt of the game will be a touchback. Orange Gatorade today, and then we got a bunch of receivers for first touchdown on the Patriots side. I do have Martellus Bennett in there with Amendola and Chris Hogan, and then Brady 4 more TDs at +420. Right. I hope everybody has a great Super Bowl. And like Dream said, if you don't like the game, don't play it. Don't be the jackass at the Super Bowl party that's all pissed off.
Yes, right on.
Like trying to take into lacrosse play, and they say that Hogan played lacrosse from Penn State right out of the gate.
Whipping stuff around the bar, pissed. As soon as they say it. I'm taking that. I don't care. +205, I'm taking a shot with them not saying the word lacrosse during the Super Bowl.
I'll play it at Aaron Hernandez +1600.
All right, guys, we love you to death. Go out there, have a good time. And you know what? I always say go easy, but you know what? It's the Super Bowl, so do whatever the hell you want. Enjoy this day in this great country and get that money. Let's go.
Go nuts. Peace.
All over the world, actually.